the rarefied atmosphere of the hypercar universe, where the metrics of performance often eclipse the soul of the machine. The Pagani Zonda and Huayra have stood as profound testaments to a different philosophy, one where art, science, and raw, untamed emotion converge into a singular, breathtaking object. To speak of a 2026 Pagani model, particularly one that might bear the name Huayra as its foundational DNA, is to engage in a speculative yet deeply informed extrapolation of this very philosophy pushed to its most advanced and breathtaking iteration. This is not merely a car, it is a kinetic sculpture, a monument to human passion and engineering audacity envisioned for the year 2026. At its heart, the essence remains unyieldingly Pagani, a celebration of the analog soul in a digital age, but now wrapped in a technological envelope so advanced it borders on the clairvoyant. The exterior design, while immediately recognizable as a descendant of the Huayra's organic, almost biomechanical forms, would undergo a dramatic yet respectful evolution. Imagine the signature gull-wing doors, a non-negotiable Pagani theatrical element, now crafted from a new generation of carbon fiber composite that integrates transparent old panels within the weave, allowing the driver to see structural and aerodynamic load data glowing faintly through the material itself when the car is in its dynamic mode. The front end, still bearing the haunting, a Moto 4-part headlight design, would feature active laser matrix illumination systems that not only pierce the darkness, but can project necessary information like ideal braking points or trajectory lines onto the road surface in low-light conditions, a feature borrowed from motorsport prototypes and seamlessly integrated into a road-legal masterpiece. The body's form would be an even more extreme exercise in functional art, with every curve, vent, and scoop dictated by computational fluid dynamics models of unimaginable complexity, validated in Pagani's own wind tunnel. The iconic active aerodynamics of the Huayra, with its four independent flaps, would evolve into a fully morphing skin system. Microscale actuators embedded beneath the seamless carbon fiber surface would allow sections of the rear diffuser, the front splitter, and even the pillars to change their shape minutely, in real time, optimizing downforce and drag coefficients, not just per driving mode, but per individual corner, brake application, or throttle input. This would give the 2026 Pagani an almost supernatural level of stability and grip, as if the very air is sculpted to hold the car to the tarmac. The materials used would represent the pinnacle of what is available in the mid-2020s. Carbo titanium and carbo triax HP5G to carbon fiber would likely be joined by graphene-infused composites and shape memory alloys for certain dynamic components, reducing weight to a figure that defies the laws of physics. For a car boasting this level of complexity and luxury, the visible carbon weave would be a work of art in itself, with options for colored weaves deep sapphire, emerald green, or volcanic red interlaced with 24-karat gold, or platinum thread for the rivets and badging, continuing Horacio Pagani's obsession with bridging the Renaissance workshop with the 21st century laboratory. Propelling this jet dart would be an engine that serves as the car's undeniable heart and soul. While the world marches towards electrification, a 2026 Pagani would likely remain fervently, romantically combustion-driven, albeit with a level of hybridization that serves not to save fuel, but to amplify emotion and fill in the tiny gaps. In the power band, the partnership with Mercedes-AMG would reach its zenith, resulting in a completely bespoke, hand-built V12 engine. Displacement might hover around 6.0 or 6.2 liters, but with the aid of twin turbochargers that are now electrically assisted to eliminate any semblance of lag, and a hybrid system that is not a separate entity but an integrated component of the drivetrain philosophy. This hybrid system would be a performance-focused, lightweight unit, likely utilizing a compact electric motor integrated directly into the gearbox, or acting on the crankshaft, providing torque fill, a vicious power boost adding perhaps to 100-300 horsepower in short bursts and enabling limited silent, electric-only mobility for entering sensitive urban environments or one's own curated garage. The total power output would be a number whispered in awe, comfortably exceeding 900 horsepower, perhaps touching the mystical 1,000 horsepower mark, but more importantly, delivering it with a linearity and ferocity that only a large displacement V12 can provide. The exhaust system, a work of art in polished titanium or inconel, would feature active valves not just for volume, but for tone, allowing the driver to select between a sonorous, classical orchestra for cruising, or a full, unmuffled Wagnerian opera at full throttle, the sound designed in collaboration with acousticians to be a specific, perfect harmonic signature. Harnessing this astronomical power would be the responsibility of a chassis and drivetrain of equal brilliance. The carbon fiber monocoque, already the gold standard in rigidity and safety, would be even more advanced, incorporating embedded sensor networks that constantly monitor structural health, load distribution, and even the microscopic integrity of the carbon weave, feeding this data to the central vehicle dynamic brains. The rear-wheel drive configuration would be sacrosanct, a tribute to driving purity, but managed by a suite of electronic systems, so sophisticated they feel like an extension of the driver's nervous system. A traction control system would use predictive algorithms, reading GPS data of the road ahead combined with real-time tire temperature and slip readings, to anticipate grip levels and manage power delivery preemptively. The transmission would be a bespoke 7-speed automated manual, or a lightning-fast dual-clutch unit, engineered not just for speed, but for the tactile, mechanical satisfaction of each shift, which would be felt as a precise, satisfying thump through the carbon fiber structure. The suspension, likely a double wishbone set up front and rear, would employ active hydraulic or electromagnetic units that can change not just damping stiffness, but also geometry slightly, keeping the car perfectly level under all conditions, while communicating every nuance of the road surface to the driver in a filtered, informative manner. Stepping inside the cabin of the 2026 Pagani is to enter a realm that transcends the concept of an automobile interior and becomes a personal cockpit of inspiration. A blend of the Vatican Library, a Swiss watchmaker's atelier, and a modern fighter jet. The dominant material would, of course, be the finest leather, hand-stitched by artisans using methods centuries old, but the hides might be treated with novel, sustainable processes that enhance durability and impart a unique, aromatic scent. This leather would wrap around a central structure that is pure exposed carbon fiber, its weave perfect and symmetrical, acting as the skeleton of this luxurious organism. The dashboard would be a symphony of analog and digital, with primary gauges likely being real, physical machined aluminum needles sweeping over mother-of-pearl or stone dials, but supplemented by holographic or transparent old displays that project secondary information seemingly in midair, configurable by the driver. Every control, from the air conditioning vent to the drive mode selector, would be a milled piece of solid aluminum, titanium, or even magnesium, anodized in beautiful colors, and operating with a damped, precise weightiness that speaks of infinite quality. The iconic Pagani gated gear selector would remain a tactile jewel, even if the transmission is electronically actuated, simply because the ritual and satisfaction are paramount. The steering wheel, devoid of superfluous buttons to maintain purity, would be a masterpiece of form and function, wrapped in leather and suede, with a central hub that might feature a single, milled aluminum badge that also functions as a haptic touch interface. The pedals would be machined from a single block of aluminum, drilled for lightness, and positioned for perfect He-Lando operation. The sound system, if one could call it that in an environment where the engine provides the primary soundtrack, would be a no-compromise audiophile system, with speakers seamlessly integrated into the carbon fiber structure, and using resonant properties of the materials themselves to create an immersive soundscape for those quieter moments. The technological integration within this classical framework would be seamless and profound. A full suite of sensors, LiDAR, radar, and cameras would enable level 3 or perhaps conditional level for autonomous capabilities. But this would be implemented not for the driver to abdicate responsibility, but to act as an ultra-advanced co-pilot or guardian angel. In pilota mode, the car would handle tedious highway commutes or traffic jams, but its primary function would be in the dynamic realm. A Delta telemetry system would record every driving session, overlaying data like speed, G-forces, steering angle, and braking pressure onto a video feed, allowing the owner to review and hone their skills. An augmented reality heads-up display would project a racing line, braking markers, and apex points onto the windshield when on a track, transforming any circuit into a video game-like tutorial, guided by the car's own optimal calculations. Cybersecurity would be paramount, with systems designed to be completely impenetrable, and over-the-air upgrades would be possible for non-critical systems, though major upgrades would likely still require a pilgrimage to the Pagani factory in
San Cesario sul Panaro, near Modena, Italy, ensuring the personal touch is never lost. The ownership experience of this 2026 hypercar begins long before the key, which is itself a sculptural object, perhaps made of the same materials as the car's chassis, is placed in one's hand. It is an invitation into the Pagani family, a bespoke journey of co-creation. The client would work directly with Horacio Pagani and his team of designers, engineers, and artisans to specify every conceivable detail. This goes beyond paint color, which could be a deep, multi-layer lacquer taking months to apply and cure, or a bare carbon finish polished to a mirror shine, and extends to the weave pattern of the visible carbon, the type of leather, and its stitching pattern, perhaps a design personal to the owner, the metal used for every switch and plaque, and even the scent infused into the leather. The process could take 2 to 3 years, during which the owner receives regular upgrades, samples of materials, and invitations to the factory to see their car being born. Upon delivery, the experience includes comprehensive training from a Pagani test driver, not just on public roads, but on a closed circuit, to truly understand the car's capabilities and dynamics in a safe environment. Aftercare is for life, with a service plan that includes annual inspections, meticulous maintenance by factory-trained technicians who may fly to the owner's location, and an open invitation to return to the factory for any need. The car would likely be presented in a custom-built, climate-controlled transport and storage case, itself a work of design. In terms of performance, the numbers, while staggering, are almost secondary to the sensation. The 0 to 60 miles per hour time would be deep into the 2-second range, perhaps as low as to 0.3 seconds. With 0 to 124 miles per hour to 100 kilometers per hour dispatched in under 6 seconds. Top speed would be electronically limited, likely to around 140 miles per hour. But the true magic lies in the cornering speeds and braking performance, which would redefine the limits of physics, with lateral acceleration figures exceeding 1.5 grams and braking from 60 miles per hour to 0 in under 90 feet. Achieved through monumental carbon ceramic brakes with active aerodynamic cooling, and perhaps even regenerative braking from the hybrid system adding to the stopping force. Yet, unlike many hypercars that become unbearable at low speeds, this 2026 Pagani would retain a surprising level of civility, its active suspension softening, the exhaust quieting to a murmur, and the cabin remaining an oasis of calm and comfort, making a cross-continental journey not just possible, but pleasurable. This duality, the split personality of a docile grand tourer and a telepathic track weapon, is a Pagani hallmark that would be perfected in this future iteration. Ultimately, a 2026 Pagani Huayra, or whatever name it might carry, perhaps a new, mythologically inspired title, represents the absolute apex of a certain philosophy of motoring. It is a machine built without compromise, where every gram is considered, every surface is touched by human hands and passion, and every technological advancement is subservient to the goal of creating an emotional connection. It stands as a bulwark against homogenization and silent, sterile efficiency, a roaring, beautiful, complex testament to the idea that the journey, the sensation, and the artistry of creation are as important as the destination. In a world increasingly moving towards anonymous mobility, this car is a singular, personal statement, a mobile museum piece that is also the sharpest of scalpels on a winding road, a dream rendered in carbon fiber, titanium, and soul, forever, connecting the driver to the very essence of mechanical passion. It is, in every sense, the culmination of decades of obsession, a love letter to the automobile written in the most advanced materials and the most profound feelings, a perfect artifact from the future that feels timeless the moment it is witnessed.